Hey Christian ladies, I want to share with you about what makes your husband tick. What's going on behind the scenes and what maybe he's even afraid to share with you, or maybe doesn't even know how to put it into words. And in the context of doing Christian marriage coaching for a number of years and working with individuals, with men and couples for about 3 decades plus, I think I know men pretty well. Plus, being one gone through a lot of life twists and turns, I think I know men pretty well. So first of all, what I want to share with you is that men don't need much. Women, they might. Women, you might think your husband's complicated. It might even seem like you don't understand what makes him tick. He's not looking for that much from you. He's looking for appreciation. He wants to know that what he does matter. He wants to know at the end of the day, you're going to say, thank you for working hard. Thank you for pouring into the kids. Thank you for doing the things that you do. It's making a difference. He's not looking for a lot. He just wants to feel appreciated at the end of the day. And on top of that, he wants to know that during the day that you're thinking about it. He wants to know that he's making a difference, that he matters to you, that you look up to him in some ways, that you see him as your knight in shining armor. And he's looking for that appreciation just about the little things. You know, and here's the thing. So often women will say, well, my husband, he seems like emotionally stunted. In fact, in our culture and some of the helps out there, they'll say the same things. Well, he needs to connect with an emotional IQ. I'd say most of the time, there may be some merit to that, but most of the time, it's a bunch of baloney. I would actually go so far as to say that men are highly emotional creatures and just as emotional as women. But they're not emotional women. They look very different than women. And so a lot of times, there's been multiple times I've been on phone calls with people, even with couples, where the wives have made that statement. And I've asked the men a few different follow-up questions. And like, there have been times I've had those men in tears. I've had those men opening up and really sharing with their hearts behind it, like what they've been feeling. And so for a man, though, he's so often nose to the grindstone, like especially if he's a man of honor, he's thinking in terms of what does he need to do to provide for his family. And he's working hard and he's thinking about what he needs to do for his family. And so often, with the weight on his shoulders, it can seem like he's disconnected. It can seem like he's not even thinking about his family, when in reality, the weight of the world might be on his shoulders. In fact, I would even take that a step further and say he has the mantle of leadership. He knows that God has called him to lead and to provide for his family. He knows this inherently. But what he may not share with you, and especially if he's struggling with that, or if your marriage has been struggling, he's very disconnected from you, he may not be able to open up and talk about that very much. But I promise you, your husband is feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders, financially, for the kids, providing, thinking about the dangers that are out there, thinking about the dangers in their culture, thinking about what they need to do to protect the kids. He's always thinking about your best interests. And I bet you 99% of the time, those men out there, if someone was breaking through the front door, they wouldn't nudge you and say, wife, go see who's there breaking in the house at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because most of the time they're men of honor. They may not be showing up honorably, but behind the scenes they are. And so because men they feel the weight, and because they are looking for just a little bit of appreciation, and because they are highly emotional beings, and the weight of that, the mantle of leadership, they're oftentimes thinking in terms of sexual connection with their wives. And for a man, it's like, it can be easy, it can be quick, like this is like, even if we've been struggling, usually they can go and be intimate with their wives. It's not like they're trying to complicate things, especially if you guys have been struggling. To them, in many ways, it's the solution, because the act of sex and the feelings afterwards, they really feel close to their wives. For a wife, she's not wired that way. She's more like, I need to be feeling close and connected for him. I need to feel emotionally like he's there and cares about me. And so it's not as natural for her. But women, when you realize what your husband is often looking for, it's not just the sexual, physical release. He's looking for that connection with you, getting rid of some of the weight off his shoulders, feeling that connection with you. And here's where the rubber meets the road. A man can oftentimes just talk about mundane things. To a woman, it seems mundane. To a man, it isn't so mundane. If If he's talking about things going on in the world, things going on in the office, things that are weighing on him, talking about even politics, to a woman, it's like, why are you even talking about this? To a man, he's always thinking about protecting his family. He's always thinking about the challenges that are there. He's always thinking about the bigger picture. And so for him, that's actually one of his ways that he's most likely trying to connect with you. And you've called it, perhaps at times, that like he isn't emotionally aware, or he's not connected with his emotions, or he's emotionally stunted, when in reality he's highly emotional and trying to connect with you. So ladies, I drop in the chat underneath here what follow-up questions that you have, but I'm here to just tell you that your husbands, they really care. They're maybe struggling more than you realize. And a lot of times fear can drive the way that they act. And when fear drives the way that any of us act, that isn't a recipe for connection either. That isn't a recipe for us thriving either. So drop in the chat what questions you have. And if you're out there today and you're like, oh my goodness, this connects, I understand. Most times, people that reach out to us, they need the simplicity of like, lay it out for me. Help me to understand what makes my spouse tick. So if that's you, reach out. You can book a call with us at turnaroundmarriage.com/call, and we look forward to speaking real soon.